Three, two, one, and we are now live on TikTok. Titty Live number 7. Titty stands for TT or TikTok, so it's TikTok Live number 7. But I think I'm gonna go with the TD. TD Live. I think it's catchy. I think the Titty Live is a catchy one for TikTok Live number 7. So I'm gonna go forward with that name. I like it. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. It's catchy. I think it's pretty catchy. All right, let's see. Putting the TikTok live right there. Putting the live session right in front of the previous screen. It's recording on Riverside right now. Good. That is recording live. The microphone is picking up audio, so that's good. Excellent, excellent. Demetrius RDH just joined to DDS. Demetrius RDH to DDS. Sweet. Thanks for coming on, dude. Thank you for coming on. Let's see what we got here. Terrell eating pasta just joined. That's pretty cool. You can put that you're eating pasta right now. I just had bone broth and chicken liver. It's pretty good. Lots of protein. I'm probably going to explode with protein. So you want to be around me to get some protein particles. If Terrell, nice haircut. Thank you. Yeah. It's a little bit of hat hair right here. But 2 weeks ago, I had to do it. Last week, we were in Jamaica for a mission trip. It was outstanding, by the way. But it was so hot. There was no way I was going to survive with hair down my back in Jamaica, in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. No way. Absolutely not. Demetrius, yes, sir. How's it going? It's going good. It's going good, man. Thanks for joining. How you doing? Kim Bronson just joined. Weenive joined. Terrell, it did look really good long. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my mom really liked it long, too. And my aunt, but I had to do it, had to move on to the shorter hair, especially for Jamaica. I swear to God, I was sweating all over people. Mike V joined. I don't know if that's Mike Vageliger. He was my little in dental school. I don't know if that's him or not. He's at Kings County right now. It might be someone else. Ahmad Wilson just joined. What's up, Ahmad Wilson? Good stuff. I'm actually, if I can't answer anyone's question on here on the TTL, the TikTok Live number 7. If I can't answer your question, Bahar just joined. What's up? Losbo just joined. Colby Dalton just joined. What's up, Colby? If I don't get to any questions on here, I still have, it's going to be up for 24 hours, the Instagram Live session. That's going on right now. You can submit questions live on my Instagram, and then I'm going to get to those. I'm actually going to do those after, so I'll probably wrap this up a little bit early. It's about 8:10 now. Wrap this up a little early so I could hit some of those questions. Demetrius, I'm doing okay. Currently studying for my histology microanatomy exam tomorrow. Oh, shoot. Well, I don't know how much of that I'll be able to help you out with on the TikTok Live, but anything I can, let me know. Anna, what was your hardest class in undergrad? So definitely physics. I went to an engineering school. I graduated from Stevens Institute of Technology in Hoboken, New Jersey, but I started at NYU Poly, and NYU Polytechnic Institute. That's NYU Tannen School of Engineering now. The physics course there, it was 2 tests, midterm and a final. They were both 10, no quizzes, just a midterm and final. Both were only 10 questions. So if you get 3 wrong, you're already failing, right? You got a C. I mean, well, I don't know. I consider C's, but I got a 40 on the midterm. The class was so hard. Those engineers, so much respect. Those engineers have, they know math. They know math and physics like the back of their hand. And so I got a 40. I dropped the class. There's no way I was going to go into a final with a 40 hanging over my head. What's the best I can do? Think about it. Say I get 100 on that. I end up with what, a 65, a 70? A 70? So I get a 70 for the final. I dropped the course. Best thing ever. I took physics later. I got a B. It was fine in summer class. So Anna, that was my hardest class ever. I'm not a physics. I was more organic chemistry. I got an A- in Orgo 1 and an A flat in Orgo 2. Those were my classes. Jeff Briand joined. Ava joined. Charles joined. DC482 joined. PFD joined. Let's go, guys. Let's do this. Ali H joined. What's up? BWC. I don't know. That was the guy. PWC was the guy or girl's handle. Anna, what changed the second time you took physics? It was a different instructor. Right? They had quizzes every day of class. Again, a midterm and final, but there might have been 2 midterms. It might have been like a semester. Yeah, I think there were 2 midterms. But we had quizzes every day, every week. We had 2 classes a week. So, or more, 2 or 3 classes a week. It was a summer course. It was at the community college near me. Better instructor. Stuff like that. I mean, Sometimes instructors do that. Lardy Lard joined, Chris Magipinto joined. Anna, does that make sense? So, I mean, instructors make so much at the end of the day, right? And that's exactly what happened. Demetrius, I'm currently D1. When should I take my first CBSE exam? Demetrius, so you're currently a D1. I would recommend taking it for the first time after D1 year. So after this year, take that exam once. All right, take it once, see what you do, what you think. Now you know what to study for. So the second time, remember, it's a completely different exam from the rest of dental school, right? It's a medical school boards based exam. So I would recommend taking once for your first go around after D1 year, and then start studying for it after that. And you take it during D2 year, maybe after D2 year. I took it a year later, and when I started studying for it after D2 year. That's my recommendation. User 2500, what's your favorite surgery to do? I'm really liking the all-on-4s, all-on-5s, 6 implant surgery where you put a prosthesis on it with the prosthodontist team, maybe general dental team, GPR. I really like doing the all-on-X cases. Zygomatic implants are pretty cool too. Trauma's okay, but I don't know. I'm still taking more call than I am doing the trauma, facial trauma surgery. So not really. You get it. You get it. User 1910, physics is a fake science. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know if I agree with that. But user 2500, that's my favorite surgery. So far, I still got a year and a half left of residency, a little longer than that, a little more than a year and a half. Muscles, follow the live creator. All right, Muscles. Anna, do you have a YouTube channel? I do. If you type at Dr. Gallagher, kind of like how it's spelled here, you could get me a new YouTube channel. I'm recording this right now. So I have the TikTok live on my phone right here, but behind it on my computer screen, I actually have Riverside. So I'm recording the podcast. I'm going to put it out on YouTube. I'm going to put it out on the podcast later. And then you could run it back. I'm going to try and make little clips of these with my buddy Esteban. He's kind of like my post-content or post-production editor and creator. Blank, I have an orgo exam tomorrow. Good luck. Is it Orgo 1 or 2? We're in the fall right now, so I'm assuming it's Orgo 1. Lots of fun. It's all about repetition of the equations, right? It's getting the formula down per each molecule, per each, etc. It's a lot of repetition. It's like doing math. You need to know the formulas in order to answer the question. Same thing with physics. Orgo, something about it, though. I something like visually really worked in my mind with Orgo. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're doing okay. Khan Academy. Look, if you're having a tough time with Orgo, Khan Academy, I highly recommend. Highly recommend it. Do it. Do it. Let me see if I can get this a little bit higher. That's the one. There we go. It was blocking my entire face. Good. That's much better. Okay. NRTH job preacher. I'm using my Hitachi wand right now. I'm not sure what that is. What that is. Which dental school? This is user 34568. Which dental school are you doing your residency at? So it's, I don't want to talk about it live because at the program here, I went to Stony Brook Dental School, by the way. I'm at a different area. I'm in Manhattan. I'm in a different residency program. But my institution is very heavily guarded on use of the institution's name, logo, any associated symbols. And so I wish I could reveal. I got to kind of keep it on the DL because it can't look as though I'm representing the institution. I'm completely representing myself, my own personal opinions. None of this is medical advice. As usual, this is just my personal opinion. TikTok Live for you. All right. I hope that's okay. User 34568. Northgut Preacher, get me some Coral Hydrate right now. Demetrius, do you have a list of CBSE exam study material you recommend? Yes, I do. And I made a ton of videos on this. It will help if you could check it out. You could look on my Instagram. You could, I guess you could technically Google it, but on YouTube as well. And YouTube will come up if you Google it, like my CBSE study materials and resources, my recommendations. In brief, it's Pathoma, boards and beyond. Then you need to get those materials into first aid for step 1. UWorld is the question bank that everyone uses. That's like the holy grail. You got to do that. And then Sketchy Farm and Sketchy Micro. You can do Sketchy Path. I didn't do Sketchy Path. Ran out of time. I wish I could have done more, but everything worked out. Use those several resources. I think that will give you VNS of Willendorf. Hey, VNS of Willendorf. How old are you? I'm 29. 29 and a half. My birthday's in May. I'm 29 and a year and a half left of residency. So I'll be graduating when I am 31. Megan, what's up, Megan? Have you ever heard of medullary sponge kidney disease? Yes, I have. I have heard of that one. We have to study for that for the CBSC. That comes up in first aid. I'm not going to go into it. I don't remember it like this. And North GA Preacher. Oh, I guess that means North Georgia Preacher. I see how it's spelled. You took out the O in North and then GA Preacher. Awesome. He's my 19-year-old dentist. Who's your 19-year-old dentist? I'm not 19. Imagine. It looks like I dropped a few years when I cut my hair. One of the assistants was calling me Nino. El Nino ahora. Oh. Jacobs Skorupa. How many hours a week do you work at your residency? In the beginning, it was over 100 hours a week, I got to say. And then second year is anywhere between 80 to 120, honestly. And then this year, it's a bit less. I'm probably averaging 80, but it could be anywhere between 60 and 100 hours a week right now. Thank God I'm finally starting to get some less weekends. I'm a 3 out of 4 year resident, right? And I'm still on call some weekends. Unfortunately, we're extremely short-staffed at this program here. They also switched the structure because some of the residents go into medical school, right? They're the extra 2 years of the 6-year guys. And the program switched it where we have an extra 2 residents going into the med school rotation of it earlier. And now everyone else back on service has to make up for it. So I have been still doing a lot of weekends. I'm still on call. This month is less. This month's 4, but I'm still on call 5 times a month. As an intern, I was on 7 to 8 times a month on service. Off service, I was 11 calls one month. It was literally every third day. That was hand plastics rotation. There were a lot of hours worked that month. I would not go back for that. MICU was the second hardest rotation, just emotionally draining. People passing away, unfortunately, in the MICU. That's the medical ICU, the intensive care unit. There's just a lot going on there. However, good work too. An extraordinary team with the crit palm, the internal medicine residents, just anesthesia, just incredible experience. So I hope that answered your question. That was Jacobs Skarupa. Alana shared the live. Oh, thank you, Alana. I appreciate that. If everyone could share the live, I really appreciate that, friends. Daniel Takash, how to survive undergrad and grad with all the studying. So the way I would recommend this is there are 2 things, right? There's maximizing your best in school, right? Getting good grades, studying, taking on more courses if you can, joining clubs and whatnot. And then there's also like that's like the academic part. And then there's the self-awareness or personal part of it, where I think you really want to work on being organized, maybe even get a job in summers. Definitely a good idea to work during summers while you're in college, whether it's an internship, whether it's at a dentist office in your area, whether it's something along those lines. Definitely a good idea to kind of get a scope of the broader world around us, right? I really think that that's a good idea. I lifeguarded through dental school, through undergrad and dental school, actually. But lifeguarding is great too. You could study while you're on the job if it's like a not so active and not too much activity in the pool. But the thing about personal, I really think you want to get organized through dental school, through the beginning of dental school, through undergrad, through high school. I used to have a planner, which is fantastic. I would write out everything I had to do every single day. And then dental school came in. I'm like, I don't have time every day to rewrite this thing. It took a half hour every day to rewrite all my things. This is the work I'm going to do today. Everything, right? When the tests are. Now I use the app To Do. It's an app by Microsoft. It is the greatest thing. It keeps me on my head, right? Because I'm doing all this. We're doing a live session right now. I'm doing the Q&A session in the background on Instagram Story Live. I got an MMR presentation for tomorrow morning at 7 already completed today. I do drafts for several Instagram accounts I run for my side company as well as personal stuff, including Students of Dentistry. We founded that, Sean Czar and I, several years ago. We're the ones that run that. We also have Axe Sarah, and Siraj, who we brought on the team. Siraj helped us with Dose of Dental podcast. I'm also running Elite Dentist, so that we have the Students of Dentistry. That's the students-based Instagram account. We have Elite Dentist. That's the dentist-based, and then Top Dental Practices. So Sean's running that one right now, but that's a part of our students to dentists to dental practices, marketing, networking, community, and that's going really well. We also have law, doctors, veterinarians, and then personally, I also run Top Wineries. That's actually the biggest account. I think it has like 200. What was it today? 267,000 followers. I'm not tooting my own horn. Remember, I started that. That one's a year less. So that was like 6 years ago that I started that one. That one's just me. I have a theme where it's like, well, you can check it out if you like. That's Top Wineries on Instagram. I've put a lot of work into that over the years, featuring wineries and so forth. Good stuff there. So what keeps me organized is the app To Do. You could set things to come up weekly, every Monday, every first Monday of the month, every first day of the month. It's like a calendar, a to-do list, a folders, an organizer. It's absolutely amazing. And it synchronizes across devices, right? So, here's another story. I started out with writing everything out every day. Then I couldn't do it because we started in dental school. We started to work in clinic as well as classes. So I need to write things down to remember in clinic, but I'm walking around with just a pocket right here, basically, right? Or like in my pants. And there's not enough room for a big plan, right? So what it came down to was I started using my phone with the app To Do. And then you get home, you open up your laptop, boom, everything's already there. There's no rewriting everything. In the app, you could select things to repeat every day. And then if you cross them off for today, boom, when you wake up tomorrow morning, they're back on again because you have them on a daily repeat, right? It's huge. I highly recommend this. So sorry for the rant. I'm an avid supporter of the To Do app. I think it's phenomenal. And then, okay, so now to crush undergrad and graduate school, dental school, this is what I recommend everyone. So now we're getting into academics, right? Studying, didactics, etc. Efficient and effective studying. So effective is the obvious, right? You got to get better scores. You got to get better scores on exams, higher scores in classes, increase your rank if you're at a ranked dental school and whatnot. Get your GPA up. That's effective studying. But now what happens in dental schools, you start to see in residency is 100 times like dental school. And there's less studying, it's all more working. So you need to maximize your time. So effective studying is doing better, studying better, harder, remembering memory retention of facts, concepts, keywords, definitions, better and stronger and more longevity. And then you could work better recall during the exam. This is all effective studying, right? And then you have efficient studying, taking the time down it takes you to study that. So one example is it used to take me several times to go through a deck of Quizlet cards with the figures and everything. By the end of dental school, I was going through it three times, and I could get 90s on up on the majority of our exams. That's what I call efficient studying, right? So starting off, it took me several times to get those scores. Now getting it down to 2, 3, 4 times, get a 95 plus, that's efficient studying. Less time it takes. And now you get more time for your personal life, for working out, family, friends, dating, I don't know, whatever the hell you're going to do there, or studying for other subjects, which usually is what it is in dental school. Okay. So Daniel, Takash, these are all my keys to doing that. Okay. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm attending at Christiana Hospital for OMFS. Wait, no way. User 29899, you're attending at Christiana? Dude, I rated Christiana Care second. Wait, are you still on? Are you still on? Oh, man, what's your name? Wait, I'm just seeing that now. That's awesome. Wait, what did you ask before? 28999. Did you? I think you asked something above, right? 28999. Where is it? No. Doc, what's your name? What's your name, Doc? Where'd it go? That's so funny. I ranked Christiana second. I ranked where I'm at first. Christiana was second. I was going to do it third, but then I started hearing some things about VCU, which I had in the second spot, moved that down to second. Christiana I put up into the second spot. I never made it there, unfortunately, because I'm here now. But Christiana Care, I got to say, I wish I externed at your program. The interview was spectacular. I really appreciated how you have the attending interview, and then you have the residence interview. I love that. I didn't see any other programs having a resident only interview. I really appreciated that, and I did end up ranking that very highly. Unfortunately, you get it. But yeah, dude, thanks for coming on. That's awesome. Or ma'am, to be, I'm trying to be, I want to be respectful here. I can't see it. Just says user 2899. Yeah, that's all I can see. But I'll try and get to you. Oh my God, twins. There's a soccer ball. Ashley Walpole, what's up? You look nice in that color. Oh, thank you. One of my gal pals, one of my friends, Paige, she got me this. They're from the private hospital. When I was on anesthesia, she was wearing these, and it's like a pretty sweet color. And so she picked me some up from the scrub machine. RLO234. What percent of your class were you interested in OFS but have a lower class rank? Any advice? So we weren't ranked at Stony Brook. They did not rank us. Thank God. I don't know where I was. I wasn't number one in the class. I wasn't last in the class. Definitely in the top half. I have no idea. We have a class of 44. I don't know. A lot of smart kids. Hannah B, your hair. yeah. I had to get a cut for Jamaica. I had to do it. It was the mission trip. Nance, your hair. Thanks, Nance. And thank you, Hannah B. Daniel Tosh, of course, you got it, dude. Nance, what's the name of the app? That app is To Do. T-O space D-O. It's going to come up. It's got a white square with a blue check. Highly recommend that thing keeps me together. I wouldn't be able to have the lifestyle I have right now without that app. And I'm serious about that. I recommend it. It's a free app. I'm not getting anything. I'm not like a partner or sponsor of that. It's just, it literally changed my life. It helps me keep everything going. Nance, what is the name of it? Yep, just saying. Pulling or oil pulling for whitening? Lindsay, no, I'm not a cosmetic dentist. I don't do whitening. What we learned in dental school, that's a complete scam. I would not recommend doing that. Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth 2-3 times a day. Floss at least once a day. I generally do it after meals, right? After breakfast, after dinner, before we go to bed. IS, hey doc, please check my DM on Instagram, Imad. I will. I'll check that after. I also have to get to, right after this, I'm going to stop the TikTok live in like, say 15, 20 minutes. And then I'm going to answer the questions on Instagram and get to you there. Luke, thoughts on NYU Dental? NYU Dental is extremely expensive. It's one of the top 2, maybe 3, definitely 3, maybe the number 1 top most expensive dental school in the United States. It's extremely expensive. And the class is huge. It's the largest dental school in the United States as well. 400 students a year. It's gigantic. I can't get over how expensive that dental school is. It's absolutely astronomical, the numbers that they're taking for tuition. There's that school in California. I don't know if it's USC. I don't know if it's Pacific. I don't know if it's UCLA. I don't think it's UCLA. I actually think it's Harmon Ostrow, USC. Or Pacific. That's like that one in NYU. They're like the 2 most expensive. And then the third one, the second largest school in the United States is Tufts, I believe. And then Detroit is in there too. The Predent Mentor Map, guys, by the way, if you're a predental student, Luke, predental student, the predentmentormap.org, highly recommend it. We created that with the students dentistry team, Sean and I, our team. We created that thing. I highly recommend you looking into that. We have the live data and stats of all the dental schools in the United States, and you could submit to get connected with a current dental student of all the schools in the U.S. So you can ask them a few questions, help you out in the process. Okay, that didn't exist when I was applying to dental school or Sean, so that's why we created. I think it's going to be a huge resource. We're still growing it, building it, making it better for you. So also, Luke, if you can register with it as a predental student, but let me know, please DM me on Instagram to let me know how I can build it, how we can build it better for you, literally for you. We can even get on a call sometime. Let me know what you want to see in that website. We do it. IS, thanks. You got it. Mar, is it really bad to get veneers at a young age? Now, I don't know. I'm not a cosmetic dentist. Generally, I prefer conservative treatment, right? In oral surgery, when you finally see us for a tooth, it's getting it extracted, right? Maybe an apicoectomy. I've done apicos. Maybe most likely to get that tooth extracted, right? Put in implants, so on and so forth, other things. But I'd really like to not see you get to that point. You know what I mean? Especially at a young age, you want to try and keep your teeth. And now, how does that relate to veneers? Veneers are less than full crown coverage, where you shave down a tooth and pop a cap on there, the crown, if you will. That's full crown coverage. However, veneers, you're shaving off just the front surface and part of the sides, and then putting a tile on the front of that, right? And they make these veneers. I call it a tile because it's like ceramic. It could be ceramic, it could be other, maybe zirconium. It could be a number of different materials on the front of the tooth, but nonetheless, you see what I'm getting at? You're shaving down good, healthy tooth in order to get that on there. Now, maybe it's going to look fantastic. It's going to make your teeth look whiter, less stained. It's still a prosthetic material that you're taking away natural tooth and putting something on. I would also not recommend going to Turkey or something, wherever you want, Mexico. I would not recommend doing that because they're going to give you full crown coverage. And at a young age, you're going to end up losing that tooth at some point in your life. Okay. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just trying to give you as much information as possible so you can make an informed decision on your own. Does that make sense? All right. Again, none of this is medical advice. This is entirely personal opinion. All right. Luke, perfect. Yes. Luke, please let me know. DM me on Instagram. That's how I could kind of keep in touch. It's been a busy 2 weeks. If anyone's on here that has DM'd me, and it took me 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get back because I was in Jamaica this last week. Oh my God. My head's still spinning from it. Thank God I had the full weekend off to get some time off. But Winter, any tips for relieving stress from college? Yes. Exercise. You should really block out a time, ideally every day. And you're not going to hit it every day, right? Things get busy. But I would ideally block out a time every day, especially weekdays, because weekends get busy, friends, family, whatnot, events, to exercise. For me, I'd prefer to work out in the mornings. There's no way I'm going to get up at 4 o'clock and work out before the day in residency. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I got work to do before I go in the mornings anyway. And by the way, if you're interested on my podcast, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music. Excuse me. Oh man, it's that bone broth. On the podcast, what I'm trying to do now is I put out an article on LinkedIn. I use ChatGPT to organize it. I make it question answer format and give an in-depth explanation. But I read it out loud on the podcast. And I give any updates day to day, but I put that on LinkedIn and then I read it out into the podcast to try and give you maybe like a daily lesson of the day kind of thing, and I think it's good for my learning, and I try to share that with you for other people that want to learn. And again, that's on my podcast. You could just type in @Dr. Gallagher. Hopefully it comes up. So relieving stress, exercise. I really think exercise is number one, and you need to schedule time yourself exercising for that. So I end up exercising personally at about 7 o'clock in the evening. I can't work out after 8 because it'll interfere with winding down for the next day, getting up early. You know what I mean? So I can't do that after 8. Scheduling some time yourself, relieving stress. Here's where we get back to the personal, and then whether it's academics, didactics, clinic. For relieving stress, I think a lot of anxiety gets built up when you have a lot to do and you don't know when it's going to get done, how are you going to do it, when you're going to start, what to start with. That's why the to-do app I think is great. It'll help organize your things and then put them in, like prioritize them. The one, most important. 2, most important. What needs to get done today or tonight, tomorrow, this week, this month. Prioritize it based on that order, and then you just start knocking them off. Give yourself a reasonable amount, right? Be realistic in how much you could complete in today, tomorrow, this week, and prioritize it as such, okay? When you start knocking those off, the list gets smaller, and that's stress relief because you see these things getting completed. The other thing is the exercise. So personal things to do that. I really like to play the violin too if I have enough time. Some people like to cook. I found that was a big thing during dental school. A lot of other students, they like to cook. They just love to cook for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't like to cook. I started cooking liver a few months ago. People told me that it's one of the healthiest things apparently you can eat. Now, you can't have it too often because it's high in vitamin A and cholesterol, good cholesterol for the most part. But I only have it about once a week, maybe twice a week if I'm just really feeling, I don't know, hungry for protein. But so cooking's a good way to relieve stress. People like to do that. That way, you're eating healthy. You're taking some time out of the day to do something that's not studying or school or residency related. Playing an instrument. A lot of people play the piano. I noticed that. A lot of people play the piano. Or guitar. A lot of guitars in dental school. That's something I think is something really good to consider. I hope that's riding the bike, going on walks on the weekend, doing a little adventure in the mountains. Does that help? Does that help? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think there. Supka. He's. I can't repeat this one out loud. I can't repeat this. I guess that's his way to relieve stress in dental school and undergrad. J.S. Way, thoughts on girls with rabbit teeth. I think it's interesting. It's interesting. Personally, I don't know why you would want rabbit teeth. Those are for rabbits. People teeth for people. What's next? Donkey teeth? I don't know. Hussein, do you still think becoming a DDS but going out of state and paying triple the tuition still worth it? Well, it depends on what options you have. Do you have better options? Are you focused on going to the cheapest dental school? Are you focused on going to specialty? Maybe I would suggest you looking into what dental school has the best match percentages into those specialties that you'd consider yourself to be someone interested in, right? Um, Malu, love the haircut. Thank you, Malu. I appreciate that. I had to get it cut for Jamaica. Super hot down there. We did a mission trip not last week, 2 weeks ago now. Um, I got back at 2:30 a.m. Monday morning, and we had work at 7. We actually had to present at 7 a.m. It like didn't work exactly. We're presenting it again tomorrow, like more in depth. But 2:30 a.m. Monday morning, we started work at 7, so I had to get up at 5:30. What was that? Like 3 hours of sleep. I think I ended up getting up at like 6. But wow, that was wild. What made you choose dental school? This is Quentin Naro. What made you choose? Well, I started to get an idea of what medicine was like. I shadowed a vascular surgeon who was outstanding, but medicine, you could really see that it's starting to go a different direction in the United States roughly 10, 20 years ago. And now, unfortunately, dentistry is kind of mimicking the same way. It's getting very corporatized. And at the time, it looked like dentistry was still very private owned, mom pop shops. I really like that because I like the idea of getting involved in a dental community, being a part of that, right? Um, so, yeah, I went to dental school to really kind of do that route. What it came down to was my mentors. My mentors were two general dentists and an oral surgeon. I met them at the gym. The Men in Black. I'm sure you've heard this story before. I love those guys. I still keep in touch with them. See them whenever I can. Actually, back in March, Elise and I, we went and got drinks with Dr. Nicastro and his wife. Had so much fun. We were out till like 3 a.m. Oh, it was so great. We played pool at their place after. It was, oh my God, it was a wild night. I was more hungover the next day after that than I was for like years. It was a wild night. We went to a steakhouse. Wow, great time, great reminiscing that. But so they kind of mentored me to go the dental direction rather than medicine. 100%, 100% great choice. I don't regret going into dentistry versus medicine. Maybe versus computer science or something, maybe, but not versus medicine. I'm very confident and happy with dentistry versus medicine, especially now in oral surgery. We do rotations on these other services, other surgical specialties, medicine. Like I said before, MICU, and I don't know. The lifestyle of medicine is, I don't know, these surgical specialties. I got to tell you that the lifestyle is in residency atrocious, atrocious. So I'm really hoping that afterwards it gets better because right now it's the residency life is interesting to say the least, very different, and that's something that you can prepare for. That's for sure. JS Way, but I embrace my big chompers. Well, embrace them. You embrace those big chompers. I thought you said girls with bunny teeth though. I don't. J dot S dot Way. I can't see or tell. You have a blank profile picture. I can't see if you're um what you identify as, but I mean, embrace the big chomp. So this comes down to anything, right? Like I have a scar right here with a little bit of bump. It's kind of like a little bump. You see that? Whether it's bunny teeth, rabbit teeth, whether it's a big nose, whether it's like a scar on your face somewhere. I look like I don't have eyebrows half the time. Sometimes it's just embracing what you're born with, what you're given, and really like owning who you are versus trying to adapt and mold to be someone else that you've seen on social media, that you've seen on the television, that you've seen on Netflix. That could be fun too, maybe. Personally, I think it's really good to kind of own who we are and work every day at bringing out the best of who you are. I like to give to others. I like to mentor and educate and network. So sorry for the ambulances. The city's extremely loud. A lot of crying, a lot of ambulances. Especially I'm on First Avenue, so we're just ambulances going up and down, up and down. There are 3 hospitals, one across the street, one 5 blocks south, and one 4 blocks north. So naturally, I'm going to have an ambulance every 10 to 15 seconds. JSY, I have rather large teeth and was called Rabbit as a kid. How do I? Oops. No. I didn't mean to. JSY, I didn't mean to. Sorry, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the live thing. JS Way, I've rather large teeth and was called rabbit teeth as a kid. So please be kind. Wait. I'm trying to be kind. I'm saying own it. You know, own who you are. You can, and I mean that could be. You could go to a dentist and get it like leveled out. I'm not saying anything bad about having rabbit teeth. I thought you were saying, do you prefer girls with rabbit teeth? I mean, I don't look into or look away from girls for what kind of teeth they have. Does that make sense? Like I'm not. I don't pick girls for teeth or guys for teeth. I I'm being kind. I'm just saying like I think there are bigger things in this world than someone's teeth, right? And I think being kind is always the answer. Sometimes we can get very self-conscious with certain things, like I said, with the scar, with the eyebrows. I've been called a cancer patient before. Some really nasty person on TikTok, by the way, called me that, and wasn't very kind. So what I'm saying is, I agree. We should pick kindness always, always. Quintanaro, what made you choose dental school? I did that one. Thoughts on going to dental school with business undergrad, no prereqs? Well, you have to have the prereqs for dental school to go to dental school, right? Regardless of what undergraduate major you have. And I think that's fantastic, whether it's business, whether it's arts, whether in my dental school, there was a music special. She was a pianist. She went to Juilliard. She was a pianist. And then she went back, got the prerequisites, and went into dental school. Some of these people I found were the most interesting people that had different backgrounds. You know what I mean? One of my buddies worked in his JS way, but I embrace my big chunk. Yes. So yes, it's all about embracing what you have, being you and owning it, and being happy about what you have, right? That's something I learned on the Jamaica trip 2 weeks ago. Is, I mean, some of these people are in pain in their teeth for years. For years. They never would have gotten treated otherwise. Like it's just, I'm still stunned. I'm stunned. Really good to give back in communities, and you kind of understand kind of where you're at in this world, and it helps you really appreciate what you have. Landon B181, thoughts on going to dental school? Yeah, so does that make sense? C Money followed. Oh, thank you, C Money. Do you like energy drinks or coffee? This is by blank, no profile pic or anything. So no, I don't do energy drinks. I mean, on occasion, if I go out to a club, I'll have a Red Bull vodka. That's literally maybe once a year, not very often, maybe twice a year, not often at all. I do drink coffee just about every day. Lots of coffee. Especially in dental school, I would try to not have coffee until I'm studying. So I mean, that was literally like every day. You get it. In undergrad, I would only drink coffee when I was studying, and I only did that the last 6 months of my senior year. Believe it or not, I did not drink coffee throughout undergrad. I would highly recommend just saving your tolerance to coffee, if you will, just for studying. You don't want to get not caught. You don't want to get stuck taking medications or addicted to coffee, for example, caffeine, energy drinks, pre-workout. I know people take a pre-workout. I took pre-workout once in high school. I couldn't sleep that night, so I've never done it since. Still, food for thought. Serendipity, love. Thoughts on root canals? Well, look, root canals are a great way for you to save the teeth, right? Because you're getting the nerve out, you're preventing or hopefully removing the source of the infection. Sometimes root canals fail, but it's a very viable and effective option for saving teeth. After a few times, it might be good to consider maybe getting that tooth removed, letting the bone grow back in, and getting an implant. Again, this is not medical advice. This is solely personal opinion. Okay. Serendipity, let me know what you think about that. Eve, hello. Hello, Eve. Chocolate melon. All right. What would you do if you weren't a dentist? I would. Oh, you know what my dream was? My dream has always been to produce music. You know, like Avicii passed away. I loved Avicii. He was one of my favorites of all time. Avicii, Coldplay, Swedish House, Rufus, Nora and Pure. I liked Odessa. I liked Odessa's original 2 albums. The more recent ones, I feel like I don't know. It's hard to explain. They didn't really go that main. They kind of did go mainstream, but then they didn't. I don't know. Odessa had a weird journey. But anyway, if I could, I would go back. I would just want to music produce. And I'm all caught up in the whirlpool of the healthcare career and dentistry into oral surgery, and very busy lifestyle now and whatnot. Very little amount of time, but my dream is to eventually get back to music producing again. But if I was to go back, I would have utilized the resources at Stevens Tech a little bit more to maybe learn more about business, computer sciences, building apps and such, technology, getting online companies and websites to provide people value that can maybe make transactions online, something along there. And I've been heavily into marketing and branding now, as I'm sure you can tell. I find it to be exciting. My goal is to work for myself because in oral surgery, I want to work for patients, right? When you start working for a corporation, now you're getting a paycheck from the corporation, not directly from the patient. I think you're working for the corporation now or the hospital and not the patient. I think in healthcare, we need to work for the patient and no one else. And the way I see it is I want to own my own practice with partners so that we as a group, as a team, can serve patients directly and immediately. That's my goal. That's my vision. That's my dream. And then hopefully work just 4 to 5 days a week so that I can kind of balance out hobbies and interests and other fun stuff. Demetrius, what's the updated on salary outcomes for OMFS in your area? So it's funny because when you look into it, the highly populated areas such as LA, New York, the highly concentrated cities, it looks like whether it's between competition, whether it's between insurance reimbursement rates, it looks like out in like the Midwest, in less populated areas, dentists in general make more than when they're in highly concentrated and competitive areas, such as in a city area. You said in your area, in Manhattan, I mean, it's variable. I've heard as low as 285 starting. And this is 3 years ago. 3 years ago. Not for me. It was for someone else. 285 starting. I know someone started 4 years ago and made between 250 and 350 their first year out. I've heard upwards of 800,000 the first year out. So it's very variable. It depends on your training. It depends on your confidence, your skill level. I'm sure how comfortable patients are with you. There's a number of factors, and it's so variable about as far as what you can make. Alice Street 12. How was studying for the CBSE for you? It was a lot. I need to study a lot to get adequate scores on exams. And the CBSE, I took it once after D1 year. I took it a second time studying for it now after D2 year. And I studied probably 3 to 4 months at that point. And I got a score that I could apply with. I didn't get the score that I wanted. So I took it again in the middle of D3 year. Again, I didn't get the score I wanted, but I did get the score I needed. And so that one I only studied a month and a half for that third time because I knew how to study. I knew what to study for, and I just hit it hard. I don't even think I exercised that much. Maybe once, twice. But so it was tough. I put myself through the ringer to do the best I could on that exam. Dr. Horn 101. Do you think about drinking and its effects on the liver? Of course. Drinking has negative effects on the liver. That's why you shouldn't take Tylenol with that. Actually, something to keep in mind, Midol is Tylenol. Midol is Tylenol, caffeine, and like something else. So if, you're taking Midol and you drank a lot, you're really crushing your liver. That's something I think goes unnoticed sometimes. Ibuprofen is harder on the stomach and the kidneys, right? So you need to stay hydrated. Generally, it's a good idea if you're going to take a lot of not a lot, but a higher dose of ibuprofen. Generally a good idea to have it with a meal, right? It could cause ulcers and whatnot if it's heavily concentrated and you don't eat, kind of dilute it with inside your stomach. And then Tylenol, none of that, but hard on the liver. Got it? Dr. Horn, I mean, if you are a doctor, I'm sure you know all this stuff. But yeah, of course I think about drinking and its effects on the liver. That's why I don't drink that often. Maybe once a week, twice a week, maybe. I save it for weekends. I don't drink during the week. Are you kidding me? I got to focus. Tackle Fat Kids. That's this person's name. How long would it take a general dentist to pay back loans? Only thing I'm worried about, a 28-year-old male. Hello. I tackle fat kids. Hi. I don't know how long. It depends on how much loan you take. Some students have over $500,000 of loans. That's going to take a long time to pay back. That's not going to happen overnight. And especially, this doesn't really get talked about much. insurance reimbursement of dental treatments has not increased since roughly, I think it's like 2001, 2003, 2005, somewhere around 2008, maybe it was 2008, but they haven't increased. In fact, I think it was 2008. 2008, insurance companies dropped their reimbursement by about 40%, right? That's what happened. And they haven't increased since then. And as you know, inflation, everything's getting more expensive, but dentists aren't getting reimbursed adequately with the rising rates of everything. And then there's loans and paying back tuition and paying off your first house because now you want to finally have a family when you get out of 32 years old, 31 years old, these things need to be talked about a little bit more, in my opinion. Makaba, what stage of training are you at? I'm a 3 out of 4 year oral surgery resident in residency right now. I should get going soon. I'm going to answer the Instagram question and answer session. But I'm a 3 out of 4 resident. Yeah. Chocolate Malone, what do you think about gum laser surgery? So gingival laser surgery, I mean, it depends. It depends on what you're getting it for. If it's a gingivectomy, if it's, gingivectomy, you're taking a piece of gums one place, putting it elsewhere. We don't do gingivectomies or gum surgery as much in oral surgery. It's more of a periodontal procedure. I guess general dentists can do it too. I know it's extremely painful. Oh my God. You take a chunk of tissue, gingiva on the roof of your mouth and you put it somewhere else and it doesn't always succeed. It's a lot. It's a lot to put a patient through, Think about that. It's going to feel like a really, really bad pizza burn on the top of your mouth for weeks. Oh, Josh, I love Coldplay. Yes, Josh. Doug, Ozempic on the liver. I'm not familiar with Ozempic's effects on the liver. I'm not offhand. Serendipity, yes, unfortunately, I just had 2 teeth pulled Friday due to old canals that became reinfected. I'm sorry about that. And that was Friday. So today's day 2. Your swelling's probably at its maximum right about now. I'm not familiar with your current medical history, but I would definitely ice. For the rest of the night, 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off. If you can, that'll start to help keep it down. I don't know if you can take ibuprofen. That's also anti-inflammatory. That'll help as well. Tylenol, again, just analgesic. It's only going to help with pain. Ibuprofen, both pain and swelling. I don't know your previous medical history, though. I can't tell you for a fact to take this or not. None of this is medical advice, just personal opinion, and I'm just trying to help. All right. Dylan, 541. My grandmother's... You're funny. My grandmother's bush starts above her belly button. Wow, Dylan. Wow. Dude, that's... what is going on? That's kind of interesting that you're thinking about your grandmother's bush. I don't want to know any more about that. Dylan 541. Bro, give me a coupon when you're finished with residency. You got it, man. Hopefully definitely within a year, hopefully within the next 6 to 9 months, I'll have a better idea of where I'm going to be starting my practice. I graduate in June of 2025. And then after that, I'll be looking to go somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to go. Most likely East Coast, or maybe I'll just put it all down and move to Iceland and just start there. I don't know. What should I do? I don't know. I need to find a spot. I'm not looking DSO. I would really like to look into private practice with partners and do that. So where are we? Love Coldplay, yes. Those are 2 people. Doug Ozempic, GXG, my last name is Gallagher too. Tired of the shameless dude. Every other patient asks me if I'm related to Frank and the show and that show and the one they're in Chicago, right? The show from Chicago. I'm like, oh, Shameless. Yeah, that's the one. Do you know Frank? No, I don't know Frank. And I don't know anyone like Frank. In my family, at least. Well, no, then there's... I'm kidding. Putting us Gallagher's to shame. GXG, thanks for coming on, though. Gallagher strong. Got to stay strong out here, right? That Shameless show putting our name to bed. Bad shame. Shameless is putting our name to shame. Well, the dentist that you work for paid off their loans in 2 years. 2 years? That's not bad. They must not have had more than, $500,000 loans. KAC818. Preach. Same thing is happening to physical therapists. In fact, our reimbursement has been cut. Interesting. And with the economy, and I don't think we're out of this, I think it's going to continue in a not so great direction for some time. I don't know if that reimbursement is going to come back. It's very interesting. Blank, what do you think about tonsil removal? Well, I mean, if you have consistent sore throats, infection, and again, this is not medical advice, this is solely personal opinion, it may be advantageous, especially so just something that applies to me. We look at people's airway, the anatomy of their airway. We look at the Mellon-Potty score, that's 1 out of 4, or the Brodsky score, which is 1 out of 3. And essentially what we do is when you're in a sedation in a dental office, you need to remain breathing on your own the entire time, right? This is not like general anesthesia in a hospital where they put the ET tube in, and then now their machine is taking care of the breathing for you. No. In a dental office under sedation, you have to make sure that you're breathing on, or the patient is breathing on their own. So we look at the airway, and larger tonsils related to the Brodsky score can kind of cut off the airway a little bit when patients are under these relaxation medications, right? The sedation meds. And it can cut onto the breathing. So we have to take all that into assessment. So now I can't tell you whether to get your tonsils removed or not, but I can say for a fact that having tonsils removed, a patient with tonsils removed in oral surgery can potentially be beneficial to keeping the airway open during an IV sedation procedure, okay? That's as far as I can say. I would suggest you seeing an ENT, an otolaryngologist, for consultation regarding that. Amber Shaw 296, best advice for an OS assistant taking the DAANCE, the dance exam. I don't know. I didn't take that exam. I don't know enough about it to give you, foundational advice. But studying, I generally recommend Quizlet, the premium version. I think that's spectacular. I hope that helps. Cruz, the dentist I work for, good. Serendipity, thanks. I'll keep icing. Yes, definitely a good idea. DC, thoughts on NYU Dental. I think I mentioned that up there. Makaba, how many hours do you work in a week? This year, I've been averaging probably right around 80. It could be anywhere from 60 to 100. Thank God I'm getting less weekends. I'm working less weekends now as a 3 out of 4 year resident. I worked many more hours earlier on, like 1-2 years ago. So many hours. We could go into that again if you like. Thanks, I appreciate it, Amber Shaw. You got it. Anything I could do to help. Marcus joined. What's up, Marcus? Okay, we are at about. We're at 9 now. Okay, I got to sign off, and I'm going to answer the questions on Instagram next. It's 9 o'clock now. Got to start getting ready for tomorrow. And, okay, I'm going to go to Instagram now. If you have any other questions, please let me know. You could put input questions onto my Instagram Q&A. I have a Q&A session going on right now. Put in your questions on there, and I'll answer that, okay? I'm going to go over there now. I'm going to end the session here. I'm gonna keep this recording going. I'm gonna keep the Riverside recording going so we can record this. But I'm gonna answer the. Did you ever work Cruz 25? Did you ever work in a dental office before you started dental school? Yes, I did. I shadowed in several offices prior to dental school. In my gap year, I took a gap year in between undergrad and dental school. I think that's huge. In my gap year, I worked as a surgical assistant in an oral surgeon's office. That was huge. I learned so much in that year. It was very beneficial and advantageous in a number of ways for dental school when I started there. Highly recommend. Very good idea to do that. And it was fun too. I think 1.4K likes. Thank you, everyone. All right, friend. Danny the Jets fan. Danny, what's up? Everyone, please hop over to Instagram story. It's not live, but I have a Q&A session going on there. Any questions I couldn't get to answer here, please let me know. Submit it on my Instagram, please. Okay. Thoughts on Colin Anderson? Thoughts, Cruz? Nice, proud of you. Thank you. Likewise, Cruz. Thank you. Colin Anderson, thoughts on AI in dentistry? We're getting there. I have a lot of thoughts on that. If you can ask that again on the Instagram, I'll answer it there. All right, friends. I'm signing off here. Let's talk soon. This was the TikTok or Titty Live, Titty Live session number 7. Thank you so much for joining. Signing off. Steven joined. Thanks, Steven. I'm signing off now. We'll touch base soon. All right. Sometime next week, I think I'll do TikTok Live, TT Live number 8. All right, friends. Adios. Okay, sweet. We are on. Everyone, thank you for staying on. I got your Riverside still running. If you're on right now, thanks so much for staying on. I'm gonna hop over and do these questions of the Q&A session. This is October 2023's Q&A session that I'm about to do right now, and I'll do it while we're on here. Okay, let's do it. Oh my, that's a lot. All right. Let's get to it. All right, Anthony Leone, best OMFS internship. Oh, wait, that's camera's facing the wrong way. I don't think they want to take a look at my plants. All right, discard. Here we go. Let's turn around. Who is it? Anthony Leone? Anthony Leone. Anthony, what's going on, man? So, an OMFS internship. So, an internship is your first year of residency. That could be a non-categorical resident or non-cat, or an intern as a matriculated resident, right? I don't know what you mean by best OMFS internship. So, I'm assuming you mean externship. I think what you want to do, definitely do an externship at your home program, right? But then you want to do some research. Do you want to do broad scope? Do you want to do programs that only do dental-alveolar focus? Do they do benign pathology? Do they do malignant pathology? Do they do cancer? Big resections as far as that goes. They do that at my program. I would look into programs that do the things that you're most likely to be interested in, and I would go do externships there for a week, okay? What's up, Anthony? And thanks for answering this question. I'm actually recording this on Riverside right now. I just got off the TikTok live session number 7, and I'm recording it on Riverside from that, and now I'm hopping right into the Q&A session on Instagram. So thanks for asking this. Let's get going. I got a lot here. It's 9 o'clock. Let's get going. Oh, from Saudi Arabia. Can you help me get an externship at your hospital, please? I'm from Saudi Arabia. Oh, wait. I'll repeat it on Riverside as I'm starting, but then I'll answer it directly onto the Saudi Arabia. So I'm not sure how that would happen if you need like a visa. So first you really need to apply to a dental school before. So an externship is what would be at the hospital, right? For a week, shadowing and observing the oral surgery residents. However, I think you need to be a matriculated dental student in the United States in order to do that. Okay, I'm not sure how that works with the visa or whatnot. You got to look into this. I'm not entirely sure. What is the scope after the 4-year OMS program in the private practice? All right, stop recording. I keep recording. All right, I'll stop doing this. I'm going to repeat out here so you can see it on the podcast, right? And then I'm just going to answer it directly. Yeah, okay. So there's no difference between the scope of practice between the 4 and 6-year oral surgeons in residency, after residency. Okay, the 6-year can be beneficial if you're applying to a fellowship in, say, head and neck or cosmetics. Some say it can be helpful in academia. Some say it can be helpful in research. It's not entirely true, but it can be. I mean, you could look at it for its advantages there. But no. The scope of practice between 4 and 6-year residents is equal and the same. All right. Hi, could you please give some advice on how to stand out in OMS internship? Yeah, so I mean, it's really very simple. This is not complicated. Really, just come in every day. I recommend being 15 minutes early and then staying to the last person every day of that 1 week externship. I think you mean externship, right? Because an internship is going to be you're spending the entire 1 year at the program, whether it's a non-CAD or you're a matriculated resident. That's just you just do the work. Just do the work that you're told, and everything will go fine, right? Again, 15 minutes early and whatnot. Externship, always be ready to give an open hand. In an externship, you want to be, hey, can I help you pour up those models? Can I assist you on this? Do you need anything? Let me get that. Let me get the consent form for you. Going Coming in early, staying late. It's just very simple. I wouldn't overthink it, right? It's just always giving your best, give an open hand, be respectful, right? They're very busy. They're super stressed, so much responsibility as a resident. Be mindful of that. Everything's going to go just fine. You don't need to know what a Lefort osteotomy is, all right? Next is Rodolfo58. Can you talk about pre interview socials? Is that part of being ranked by programs? I mean, being ranked by programs is going to consist of everything, between the interview, the social, maybe they have a separate interview with the residents. It's just going to consist of all the things on how they found you as a person, found you as a resident, found you as a potential graduating resident from their program, right? It's a whole bunch of things. And going to the social is generally a good idea. That's how they're going to get to know you outside of the setting of residency. I consider the socials personally very highly. Adit Chef, is perio placing implants affecting oral surgery implant placements in the practice? Well, at certain dental schools, all the implants are sent to perio. I don't know why. I know there's a lot of politics behind it. I have nothing to do with this. This is no medical advice. This is just what I'm seeing and what I'm learning and what I'm seeing more of. This is what's happening. Is it affecting implant placement out in practice? I don't know. I'm not in practice yet. The oral surgeons that I've been talking with, because I do ask this question then too. It's a very good question. They haven't seen much effect in that case. Is there a huge pay difference in the MD oral surgeon versus a 4-year oral surgeon? As far as I know, there's not. Look, I don't know what institutions pay people, right? Because having an extra degree is going to be extremely beneficial if you're, at a corporate job or in an institution, whatnot. I'm trying to fix the mic here, right? But I don't see how if you're in a private practice, it's going to be based off of production, and having the 2 degrees is not going to make you produce more than a 1 degree oral surgeon, right? In fact, in some residencies, some cases, the 4 years on service more in those 4 years than the 6-year resident is in those 6 years. This is different for every program, but no, like the salary shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe hospitals will pay different. I'm not entirely sure there. I'm not really interested in working at a hospital, like solely at a hospital in the future. Maybe at a program teaching, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just adjusting the thing here. Good. All right, next one. Whoa, we have a lot to go. Let's do it, friends. All right, JW Park 16. How do you answer the tell me about yourself question? Hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, so you want to answer this question in roughly 1 to 1.5 minutes tops. Don't go over that. It's an elevator pitch, right? So, what you want to do is kind of frame it as a story. Start your background, be very general, say where you came from. Are you a family person? Did you grow up playing sports? In team atmospheres, did you have a big family? Did you not have a big family? Then kind of segue into your interest in dentistry and how that, through dental school, maybe turned into your interest in oral surgery, if this is what you're talking about as far as applying to oral surgery programs in that interview. Um, and then kind of give a few insight about the experiences you had. Maybe you did a mission trip, maybe you worked a lot with the oral surgery residents or an attending in the clinic, so on and so forth, and then kind of relate that to how you are super excited to their program specifically, right? What they offer that's different from other programs, and how you think that's going to mold. You're going to mold really well to that and adapt in that program for your personality. Okay, so this is her name is Fatima 97. Fatima 97. How are you going to deal with a patient comes into the ER with epistaxis and no other signs or symptoms? Well, I'm not going to work in the ED. But if they came to my office, look, I mean, if they came to my office with epistaxis, I'm calling 911 and sending them directly to the ER. Okay. I do have the ED rotation, emergency room. Technically, it's the ED, emergency department, but in shows on TV, I know they call it the ER. Nonetheless, I do my ED rotation in 3 months now. So if that happens, we'll go from there. We actually did have that on my medicine rotation. And you run a bunch of tests. There's a whole number of things to do. You could start with a CT, get some scans done. Maybe you have to control it immediately. If it's something really extensive, maybe you send it to IR and get something embolized. It really depends on what the cause is, right? So you need to identify what the cause of that is prior. Okay, this is not medical advice. This is solely opinion and fun, right? Next one, Tyler Dietrich. Do you send thank you notes, emails to your OMFS interviewers? Oh yeah. I sent emails. to the OMFS interviewers, thanking them for the opportunity, everything and so forth. Some people even wrote out letters and sent to them. I wouldn't do that because by the time they get that letter in a week or 2 weeks, whatever it may be, if they open it and see it, they're not going to remember who you are. An email is going to be linked to your name. It's going to be fast. It's going to be fresh in their memory the day after the interview, for example. Just send an email. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. This is I am Ethan. For students attending brand new dental schools, how hard is it to get into a specialty? Hey, Ethan, I don't really know because I went to Stony Brook. It wasn't a brand new dental school. It really depends on the dental school. Look at the match rates, if you can, of those dental schools that are newer and see what the history is. That's really going to give you the best answer by looking at the previous history, right? But I think generally newer schools don't place many into specialties, right? It's going to be a very small number towards the top, especially newer dental schools that are trying to show their prestige. They're going to rank their students. It's going to be very rigorous. It's going to be, and they're all going to be trying stuff for the first time. I don't know. Hey, what's up, Dalton? Did you use loops in dental school? I did. I did use loops in dental school. I mean, you have to. Doing some of these crown preps, I mean, you don't have to. I think it's a really good idea. You're really doing procedures on the micro scale, literally to the 10th of a millimeter. I'm not kidding. In oral surgery, though, I don't like to use loops. I like to use just glasses with a little light in the middle now. I just started using 2 weeks ago. I think it's great. One that like you just go over the head and it turns on and off. But yeah, I don't like to use loops in oral surgery because I think you miss out on the macro view of what's going on in a patient's mouth, right? All the time, you place a throat pack. I still want to see what's going on, and if you're looking through the loops and the magnification, I think you're really honing in on just a small area. I don't like that. I don't like that limitation. This is from Manhing, Manhong, Manhong, Man HNG, Man HNG. What was your undergrad GPA? I'm a sophomore and depressed because I can't get A's in easy classes. Well, Man HNG, the best thing I would recommend, I would really work on effective and efficient studying. Okay, effective is getting better scores, right? Obviously, getting that A, and then once you get there, I would look into efficient studying, so studying less while still getting A's, right? Okay, so effective studying for me was repetition. I used to like to make index cards, and then in dental school, I found out Quizlet is a lot faster, better. You could put figures on it if you get the premium version. That's what I would do. So much better. I would work on that. I would try out Quizlet, try out Anki. There's a newer program, I forget the name of it, that a lot of undergrads are using that I think is similar. Spectacular. Do it. Use it. It's about repetitions, right? My undergrad GPA, I think I finished with about a 3.6. I had a 3.4 at NYU Polytechnic School, NYU Poly or Tandon, and then I got about a 3.8, 3.75, 3.8 at Stevens. So it averaged about to 3.6. That's what I applied to dental school with. All right, next we got. Oh, this is a little bit better as far as this isn't in the way, right? Okay. Next we got, this is Insta. Check my highlight. Wow, spam. Check my highlights. Yeah, check out this mixtape, bro. Check out this mixtape. Oh god. Agarwal Sakshi. Agarwal Sakshi. What were some of the resources you used during dental school? Any textbook recommendations? Yeah, so I mean, predominantly, I mean, for the boards, I use DAT Mastery, that app. That was a really good app to use for studying for the boards exam. Um, I can't figure out the right angle for the. Okay, I guess this is just gonna have to be it. I gotta re-answer that. Damn it. Okay, so that's too big. Right about there. Right about there. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Yeah. So for studying for the DAT Master is good. Studying for the NBD, I use DAT Master app as well. That app was really good for the DAT. I felt some remembered questions on there. For dental school in general, though, we had PowerPoints, and I would study off the PowerPoints. I would export the PowerPoint into Quizlet and make Quizlets off of there. The best part was Oral Path when I teamed up with two other students, and we would take turns making the lectures. So we could literally walk into the class and already have that lecture outlined in Quizlet prior, and then we could include things that the lecture, the doctor teaching that was not in the slides but had mentioned. We could include that in the Quizlet, and it would really maximize our studying for those exams. Highly recommend Quizlet. I would recommend looking into that. Do it. Do it. Next is Emilio Herrera. What's your next step when finishing residency? Emilio Herrera, what's up, man? I'm looking into private practices now. I really want to get out there and start working. I have a year and a half left. June of 2025 is when I finish. I'm looking for practices, though. I don't know where I'm going to work. I'd really like to get an idea of where it's going to be soon. I'm looking predominantly on the East Coast, anywhere between New York, Florida. I was talking to the practice from New Hampshire last month. Sounded interesting. I don't know. I'm looking to learn more about these places and figure out what's the best opportunity, or maybe just packing up everything, moving to Iceland and starting fresh there. I don't know. I don't know. There's just so much in the air. You know what I mean? Are there any OMFS programs open to European dental grads? There might be. I think you have to go through dental school first. I think you really need to go to a dental school that has international students. Usually that'll be a 2-year program there. And then you could apply to specialties, residency, working in the United States after that if you get your dental license. But you really got to look into these things. I'm not super familiar. Any suggestions for best cheap scrubs? I don't know. In the hospital, we generally have to wear the hospital supplied scrubs. Oh, they're literally like garbage bags. It's ridiculous. I don't know why they haven't upgraded this or updated or come up with something. Figs, I think, is pretty good. This is not a commercial or anything. This is not a paid sponsorship. I don't do influencing for other people's brands. I don't like to do my stuff. I don't like to help others, mentoring, educating, networking, and so on and so forth. But I mean, MIM scrubs are cool. They seem pretty light and soft. Fig scrubs, they're a little bit heavier. They wash really well. They're very comfortable. Those are the two I've really. T scrubs had sent me a free pair. They were like kind of shiny. I don't know. I have a picture that has those in them. I don't recommend. I don't suggest. These are the scrubs that I know of. You can make your own decision, right? And from your own opinion. What do you recommend for people with a low GPA who are interested in OMFS? Well, get that GPA up, friend. And what you can do is I would go all in on that CBSE, right? Because the CBSE is how they can adequately and equally compare you on level ground to all the other applicants in the country, right? Your GPA and rank is going to compare you to other students at your dental school. The CBSE is really going to be your focus as far as how to kind of combat a lower GPA. Mohammed Al-Cool, salary of OMFS in the United States. I mean, this is super. I just did a TikTok live number 7, TT live number 7. And what we were just talking about was I've seen anywhere in New York from 285 to 350 starting. The United States, I've seen upwards of 475 starting. This is what I've seen personally in the United States. Okay. But it's very variable. I've also heard of within his first 2 years out making over $800,000. Very variable. It really depends on the surgeon themselves. That being said, I don't know, like, salary is very important, especially if you're paying back loans and whatnot. I really think there's a lot more practice, like where you're practicing, what you're doing, who the team is, what practice are you at, your partners, how many patients are you seeing a day, how many patients are you giving your full attention to in a day. There's just so many factors. It's a very difficult question to answer, and I think looking directly at a profession for salary is a bit superficial. Does that make sense? What do you guys think? What do you guys think on the pod? You guys are my family, by the way. Anyone that listens to my the podcast, the episodes, the events. I love you guys. Thank you for this so much. And I really want you to know that. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. The podcast has been my new baby. I love podcasting more than anything else in the world. Send me a DM. Let me know if you want to have an episode, talk, what have you. Let's do it. This is Muhammad Kal. Difference between 4 and 6 year OMFS residency. Yeah. So, and I've said this in different videos. The 4-year residency in oral surgery. Look, this isn't surgical training differences. The difference is that the 2 years and the 6 year, they're spending that time in medical school getting their MD. And no, the MD residents don't do different surgeries than 4-year residents afterwards. Okay, it can be helpful when you're applying to, say, a fellowship in head and neck or cosmetics. Full body head to toe cosmetics, tummy tucks, BBLs, breast implants can be beneficial there, right? Also not required. It really depends on what your interests are. And I'm 613 competitive CBSE scores for upcoming cycle. How do you balance UWorld and Anki? I mean, hey, so I've been out of this for some time, right? I'm in my 3rd year of residency, right? I don't know what the exact competitive scores are. Typically, above a 70, you're competitive. You're in the game. I think scores have been getting better over the years, so probably above a 75 now is more competitive. Even if you don't get a 75, even if you don't get a 70, I wouldn't consider yourself out of the game. You have to look at yourself on a holistic scale, if you will, right? Like how outgoing were you what are your letters of record? How many externships did you do? Where did you do your externships? What were those programs like? How are your interviewing skills? Can you actually connect with someone, say, during COVID, when it was only virtual interviews? How well can you connect with someone through a computer screen? That's a huge challenge. It's a challenge for attending as well to get to know you. So many things involved in this, okay? Do it. Yes, use UWorld, Anki. I would go all in on UWorld. Anki's good if you're months out, but in a few months out, I would go all in on UWorld. Question bank. Got to wrap this up soon. It's getting late. It's 9:24 now. We've been on for over an hour and 16 minutes. This is Nick Bankhead's CBSE studying tips for someone with no to little medical foundation. Well, yeah, I would start with doing UWorld, right? The first 2 passes. The first pass, I would go section by section, learning everything between biochem, microbiology, pathology, pharmacology, and so on and so forth. Do everything one by system, cardiovascular, all of it, all the study resources. And I've done this on other videos. I've done this on other talks. Check out the podcast, check out the YouTube, but essentially learn everything section by section, summing it up and remembering it by doing UWorld questions on that section. The second pass through UWorld, I would work more on test taking strategy. So I'd do things randomized. I would start off your first block in the morning on timed mode, and then the rest of the day do tutor mode, so you can learn it question by question, so you're not getting too burned out in the head when you're going to repeat it all again the next day. You do need to do this for a few months. Generally, if you're studying for the CBSE, it's a lot of work. That's that question answered. Now we're going to move on to the next one. STEM 5612. How tall are you? Well, I was 6'1" before starting residency. With all the long hours standing, I'm probably not 6'1", maybe 6.5. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I still am 6'1". I don't get much sleep. Look, that's my bed. That's my little teeny tiny bed right there. I'm not embarrassed about it. Look at how much more space in the room I got. My feet do hang off the end. Okay, that's a little embarrassing. Which extracurriculars should I focus on while, this is Nick Bankhead again, should I focus on while in dental school to be a competitive OMFS applicant? A lot of people ask me about research. Only 1, 2, 3 tops programs ask me about my research on interviews. Very few. More actually asked me, 8 to be exact. 8. That's more than half. I had 14, 15 interviews. 8 asked me about playing the violin, believe it or not. I put that on the back of my CV. So yes, they do read the full CV. I would do stuff that interests you. There are a lot of musicians in oral surgery and other specialties in dentistry in general. A lot of musicians. If you do play an instrument, I would keep that up. That's something to talk about on interviews to connect with the interviewer. That's something you definitely want to be shadowing and participating, with your oral surgery residents at your dental school in the OR, in their clinic, helping them out. Get to know the residents over there, the attendings, help them out wherever you can. Externships are absolutely crucial. You got to get the CBC in. You see what I'm saying? Research is good to have, but it's not a make or break thing. I hope this helps. That's that question. Send. Good. Boom. How many more? Oh my God. Okay. We still got 8 left. Paul Vigario. Who's the best dental OMS technology company? That's funny, Paul. I see what you did there. I see what you did. That's good. That's good. No, you guys are good. You guys are good. I've actually seen firsthand some of your work. I was very impressed. I was very impressed. I got to get some competitors on here so that we can see who wants to. Oh shoot! I got to redo that one. It paused. Oh shoot. Paul, what's up? Thanks for asking. That's funny. That's funny. I actually have seen some of your stuff firsthand. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I think I'm gonna have to talk about some of your competitors though, so that we could talk about who actually wants to do my future office renovations for a discount. For a discount, maybe free. Well, we could talk. We could talk, Paul. Well, you let me know. This is Mahira Chaudhry. You get accepted to your dental school, to your state dental school, and an Ivy League school. Which one do you pick? Well, look, I mean, it really depends on what you prioritize in looking at a dental school. Do you want to? Are you interested in potentially going into a specialty? How about that tuition? Are you going to have to take out loans for that? What's the culture of that dental school? Some of these Ivy schools aren't ranked. Some of them aren't even graded. They're pass fail. You know, the culture at that school is going to be very competitive, but not as competitive as a school that's ranked, where they're grading you on every single exam. There's a lot to take into consideration. Maybe you want to be near family. My grandmother was very sick when I started dental school, so that ended up weighing more heavily. I mean, I always knew I wanted to go to Stony Brook. I only applied to 5, 6 schools, but I mean, it really depends on what you're looking for throughout your dental school experience and for your career, right? As far as specializing goes. Wow, another oral surgery question. OMFS salary in United States and Britain. I don't know. I really don't know. I've heard that it's higher in the United States than in Britain, but then, they're really underpaying and overworking residents that are doctors at that point in the United States. I don't know how it works in Britain. I haven't been there. I haven't seen it. The healthcare system. I don't know. I know nothing about it. Next one, A_A6731. I know it is variable, but can you tell us how much oral surgeons make? Just an estimate. Another salary question. An estimate, I don't know. The lowest I've seen in the New York area was like 285, right? I've also seen pediatric residents, pediatric dentists making 200, 240. So the lowest oral surgery I've seen was 285. The highest I've seen was up over 800,000. That was also not fee for service. That was based on production at that practice. I've seen oral surgeons towards the latter of their career make over 1.2 to 1.5 million. Yes, I have. I wouldn't base a specialty based on off of salary. Hamza, do you need to get your wisdom teeth removed before Invisalign embraces? Well, I would really see what your orthodontist thinks. Have you seen the orthodontist for the consultation yet? Did they say anything about it? Did they send you to an oral surgeon to ask? It really depends on what state your wisdom teeth are. Are they erupted? Are they unerupted? Are they starting to erupt? Do you have all your wisdom teeth? Are they impacted? What direction are they erupting in? So there's so many questions that I have to ask without seeing an x-ray and so on and so forth. And if I did, I would just try and give you ideas and thoughts and things to ask on your consultation. I can't give you that type of recommendation or suggestion or advice. No medical advice through social media, strictly opinion. Hope this helps. Dentist in progress. I saw you on YouTube channel. That was epic. Was awesome to see you on there. How was it? Yeah, dude. Thanks so much for seeing this and the YouTube channel. I actually, one of these days I'm gonna repost that video on now my accounts, on YouTube, podcast, TikTok probably, and Instagram. But dude, I seriously, this was June, by the way. This was June. I know most people saw in August, September. Literally in August, like every week, 5 people would come up to me, literally like 3 people a day, asking me about that. But It was cool. So Juan was knocking on the front door of my apartment building, and I had just come home from work. I was on call, so I had to just drop off my stuff. I brought my loops in that day to show my attending, and then I was going back to the hospital around and be on call. I just got home, and he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Do you know someone in the building? Can I help you? Whatever." And he's like, "Can I see your apartment?" I was like, and then he's like, $100, and I was like, no, and he's like, 200. I actually didn't say yes to 200. The real version, I was like 500, and he's like, all right, and I was like, okay, come on up. I called Luce, made sure she wasn't on a meeting, went up, did the whole thing, 5 minutes done. I don't know if that all got in the video, but that's okay. Boom, send. Two left. There's a lot. I got to get going on the next day. This is going to take forever for Riverside to load. Oh, well, it's okay. This is good stuff. This is good content. And thank you, everyone, for joining in. If you're still on it at this time in the podcast, I love you guys. You guys are my family. The podcast is I don't know, it's been my favorite thing recently. And we'd love to have you on. Let's talk. I like just conversations. I don't want to go in depth in case presentations or whatnot. That's not my thing for podcasting or social media. I just like to get people and let's just talk our stuff, Lizzie Joe Waldo. Not but if you ever come to Minnesota, I'd love to assist you. Oh, Minnesota or Montana? Minnesota or Montana. I couldn't see who. I think it was Lizzie. What's up, Lizzie? But Minnesota or Montana? I think this is Minnesota. All right, I'll have to look into Minnesota. If you could send me some information about practices out there so I can look into them, then we could actually consider it seriously. I would really like to learn more about practices out there in the United States, what culture there is, what kind of patient population that you're treating, what the partners in the practice are like, what their interests in as far as growing the practice. Do you want to get bigger on marketing? How do you network within the dentists of your area? Are you doing all on 4 or all on X cases with prosthodontists and general dentists in there? Are you interested in, I don't know. I really want to get into this stuff. Let me know. Do you miss doing restorative dentistry at all? I miss crushing those crown preps in Dr. Swanson's class. No. Yeah, no, actually, I do not miss dentures at all whatsoever. Crown preps were I actually enjoyed doing crown preps and the fixed side of prosthodontics. Except not like temps. I didn't like doing temp crowns, but yeah, I mean it was fun in certain ways, but I think in general I wouldn't have been as happy as I am doing oral surgery procedures because I like the surgical aspect of dentistry much better, much more. Yeah, I think this is the last question of the day. So let's see. Let me see. Okay, I got to sign out and then sign back in. Oh, shoot. No. We got more. Let's see. X Yamaxis, when to start studying and take the CBSE. Yeah, so I would take the CBSE first after D1 year. Don't study for it. Get an idea of what that exam is about because it's different from any exam you've taken in dental school thus far. Then I would take it again after that. I would study for it for the second time, right? Now you know what to study for. It's a beast, and now you know what that beast looks like, right? I took it for the second time after D2 year. It was very involved D2 year. If you can, take it during D2 year, right? Take it every time. You get 6 tries to take it. I think if you take it every it's only over twice a year, 6 months. Study for it after the second time, take it during or after D2 year, and then just keep taking it until you get the score you need, right? Ideally, it'd be good to get that score out of the way before middle to end of D3 year so that you could start focusing on externships and then working with your oral surgery residents, the associated oral surgery program with your dental school in the OR, in the clinic, lending an extra hand whenever you can. That'll really be good. Okay. I hope this sequence helps kind of your thought process as far as how to get it done. Will you do a demo of Pearl AI with me? Colin, what's up, there? I'm not sure what Pearl AI is. Absolutely though, dude. If you want to come on, let's do a talk. I got Riverside recording in the background right now. I'm adding this onto the TikTok live number 7 stream. I'm putting that up right now. But dude, let's schedule an event. Let's do a talk. I'll get you on Riverside. Let's do it. Yeah, man. I'd be super excited to do that. Actually, I would really appreciate if we could have a discussion about where we see AI going in dentistry and healthcare at large in the future. Let me know, man. Thanks for asking this. Let's see. That's it. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up now. Got to get ready for. I got to get ready for tomorrow. All right, friends, we're gonna wrap this up now. Thanks so much for all the questions. I hope something here was valuable. If you missed this or anything, or the TikTok live number 7, I'm putting this out on podcast and the YouTube channel. I'm literally gonna hit end on the recording right now on Riverside. Everything's all set. Time to get ready for tomorrow. It's 9:40. Yeah, I gotta get to bed. Time to get ready. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Be safe this Halloween. All right, friends. That's it. That's it. All right, friends. Again, you're my family. Thank you so much for staying on. I hope this helped. Any questions you have, please DM me. DM me questions. Let me know if you want to come on the pod. Let's talk. Let's do it. Have a good night. Have a great week. And again, please have a safe and healthy and happy Halloween.